What's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to another episode of the Soul of Media podcast, where we dive deep into the realms of personal growth, spirituality, raising the vibration of the masses, and yes, a sprinkle of ratchetness for all my ladies in the back. Welcome back to another episode of the Soul of Media podcast. I'm your host, Soulful T, and here we talk about everything in spirituality, personal growth, and raising the vibrations of the masses. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? Good. Well, we got my boy Adewale
Yes.
Adewale in the house. So grateful to have you, brother. Peace. How are you? And welcome to this space.
Thank you for having me on your podcast. It's a tremendous honor. Man, I feel like this is going to be a great conversation. I think this is something that a lot of people need to hear, and I think it's going to help them expand to more clarity of what they're here to do in their purpose.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why I wanted to have you on because you have such a wealth of knowledge and just energy that you have within you. And I feel like it is your purpose to spread the information the way you have been. But just want to give a background on how we met really quickly. So we were on live and my husband was on there. He's like, oh, he's letting people on. Let's request to join. So I'm like, okay, let's request. And so he requested first. But I end up going and requesting, and you chose me, social media. So we got on there, and it was just instant, like just sparks and energy. You downloading, telling my husband things he already knew. Ooh, we're gonna get into that. Look, we're gonna get into that. But like you really just confirmed so many things for us just during that brief session that we had with you on that live. So I know you have powerful information and energy to share. So please tell us your story, like how you got started in this spiritual space and become to be all that you are right now.
Thank you. So how I kind of got into this space, it was after college. I went to Utah State University, was a college football player, went Division 1. And around I graduated in 2018. So the beginning of 2019, around February, life start transitioning. I was training to go to the NFL, and for me training to go to the NFL and living in California, I was going there to go train. However, a guy that I was supposed to go train with, he was going to give me a place, help me find an Asian agent, end up flaking out on me. So I end up being in a situation where I had friends from St. Louis that was there that allowed me to stay at their place, and I did not know LA was that expensive. So the money that I did have, I end up spending a lot of it, and they end up moving to a new place. And the old place they had, they was like, you can stay here, but you got to leave within 15 days. So in those 15 days, I didn't know what I was going to do. I have a group text with my college teammates from Utah State, and one of the guys put a video called Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And within the first 45 seconds, Earl Nightingale talked about we live in the richest land of them all, the land of opportunity. Why is man broke? And he said, man simply don't think. And I'm like, it piqued my curiosity. And he talked about the law of attraction, which I never heard before. He talked about whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. And if you follow these principles, it's no way you will not be successful. And he said, I want you to do everything I tell you to do. And if it stopped working, stop doing it. So a guy that I didn't have nothing else to do. I literally did everything he told me to do in that video. And now I'm kind of here today. So that kind of started my spiritual journey.
Wow. Okay. So Earl Nightingale kind of opened you up a little bit to kind of start taking that path down the spirituality. That's really interesting. Actually, we share that in common with being in California and being open up to the spiritual realm because me and my family used to stay in San Diego, which I know that's where you currently live. Yes, I told you, we're here, we're here. So yeah, so we moved from St. Louis to San Diego. Me, my husband, and my daughter, and I was pregnant at the time, and just trying to make a dream. I don't know, California dreaming, and just seeing what was out there for us. But we got opened up to so much more spiritually, coming from like a Christian background to now like seeing about the larger universe, seeing like there's different ways to live and people being like okay, like they're surviving, they're thriving, you know what I'm saying? So it was like open our mind up to a different way of being and living, being in San Diego. So I definitely understand that. And like I remember sitting at my desk and just listening to all of these spiritual teachers like Earl Nightingale, like Dr. Joe Dispenza, listen to him too. Just so many. I can't even think right now, but there's so many. And I was just like using that to help retrain my brain, retrain my brain to open up to more out of life. So when you started going down that path, what allowed you to kind of see within to know that there is more within you than on the outside, and for you to kind of tap into that inner wisdom?
What happened with the inner wisdom is so from that process of learning about Earl Nightingale and going deep from there. And months later, I end up not going to the NFL. I did not get picked up. So it really tried to break me because I thought who I was and the only way I could expand was that the NFL. So Earl Nightingale said in a video, if you become a great salesman, you could do anything. So within that summertime, I got an opportunity to get into sales. So I got into sales and I ended up moving to Vegas and I got an oracle reading that my mom told me to get. And this oracle was telling me things of, oh, you're supposed to do this, you are here to do this, you have a voice that can shake the ground, you're supposed to have so much money, that money's not a thing. And I'm like,
Who's she talking
what's
about?
going on? And I didn't know what an oracle, a spiritual reading really was, and she was telling me kind of how I'm supposed to do that type of work too. So that kind of what sparked my interest of, okay, what is being intuitive? What is these readings? And I need to dissect that. And that was the thing that kind of opened up my curiosity of how to move into that and kind of get into that flow of that.
Yeah, it's usually a reading or something that kind of like piques your interest, or you're just like, I wonder what that's all about. Because it's like, how can someone else outside of me know what's going on within me in my mind and all the stuff that goes on, But definitely those readings are kind of a gateway and an invitation for you to get to know more about yourself. I had a reading in California, a Reiki reading, and I was just like, I never even heard of Reiki, but this lady in the building was giving out Reiki readings. So I'm just like, okay, it just touched me so differently because she didn't put her hands on me at all, but she was still able to pull out certain energies and be able to tell me certain things of visions that she was having. So I'm just like, wow. So, people are gifted and talented in these ways. Do you have those abilities that you can have visions or you see things when you're tapped in, or what does that look like for you?
Yes, I do. So, with me being able to access the Akashic Records now in my journey, I do get visions. I dream very vividly. I'm able to speak different languages, to talk to different beings. So, and I'm also, if a person just tell me their name and their birthday, I'm able to access their Akashic blueprint, their Akashic files, and I'm able to give them the knowledge that they need from their temple from within as well.
Oh, yes. Okay, let's dive into the Akashic Records now. You brought up the Akashic Records, so we got to talk about the Akashic Records.
Yes.
So first explain what the Akashic Records is and how you were kind of first introduced to the Akashic Records for yourself.
So the Akashic Records is the library of the souls, and some people also call it the original Bible of life. It's the esoteric database that hold the past, the present, the future of all timelines of man and beyond man. We all have can access this. However, more some people can access it more than others, depending on where their vibration is on their journey. So that's what the Akashic Records is. However, how I got into to the Akashic Records was years after my journey. I want to say it was about around 2021, where I had a great season in this professional league. I still was pursuing my NFL dream, and I end up playing in that league, going to another league, an indoor league, end up getting cut from that league, which I was like the best person on that team. And it wasn't, the math was not mathing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go into a reset. And that reset that I went into was having a 7-day fast. And when I went on this 7-day fast, a lot of things changed in my life. I ended up meeting a shaman. And that shaman I met told gave me a shamanic remembrance journey. And in this shamanic remembrance journey, it showed that like in a past life, I helped build the pyramids in Egypt. And it showed me a lot of things of my blueprint and some things I also did in Atlantis. And I'm like, what the hell am I? Who the hell am I?
Right?
That couple weeks later, I end up meeting another teacher who read the Akashic Records. And I was like, what is the Akashic Records? And when she opened up my Akashic Records, she told me I was a modern day shaman. And I'm like, I'm a shaman? And she was telling me all these stuff that I have done and told me how my Akashic soul was like so big that it didn't end. So she was telling me like I'm a very ancient soul and I'd done a lot of things in the cosmos. So I end up doing mentorship with her and end up doing mentorship with this woman and start accessing the records again. And the first time I accessed it, I was like, I've been here before. I've done this before. And what I realized, me being here before, this is what I was doing since I was 3 years old. So when I was 3 years old, I would make action figures through paper. And I would be Power Rangers or Michael Jackson or WWE superstars. And I will create these realities. And I would literally be there. And then if my mom opened the door, I would like literally come back in this reality, but I was not in that reality. So I end up having a glimpse when I access it again that this is something that I've been doing since I was 3 years old when I was a kid, when I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
That's when that imagination was really like on fire and you really like leading through your imagination and taking you to that spiritual realm. I heard that's why you say stay childlike and stay in that innocence because it's easier, it's less resistance, to get to that spiritual realm.
Absolutely. I agree. From my perspective, I believe that children are the keys of all knowledge and wisdom and the secrets of the universe. I believe that in this reality, this earthly reality, since we forget who we are, that's the reason they're not able to access it just easily. But I feel like in other realms, which I also seen these other realms in higher dimensions, kids are the gatekeepers of thy knowledge because they're in pure innocence, they're in their pure imagination. And kids, they just come from source. So adults, they're more programmed into the program of they need to be on earth, where the kids, their program is pure source of all that is.
That makes so much sense because I'm seeing now the kids now they're like more tapped into their spirit side than anything else, and it's kind of lasting a little longer. It's like they're not as easy to program maybe as we were when we were growing up. Like they have their own mind, their own mental. They're computing things differently, and it's making make sense, for them. It's makes sense. So that's a really good point. Now, so you said when you went into the Akashic records and you're able to see like the history of yourself and others, how does it like change you in this physical reality once you see like where you come from, I guess, in that space within the Akashic records?
At the beginning, it makes you see, why the heck am I here? If I could access this type of knowledge, or I've done this type of things, why am I in this earthly reality where it's like people don't like this reality? So for me, when I first began the Akashic Records, it was my high. It was my everything. And if I wasn't in it, I didn't feel like those things that I was doing outside of it was really important. It gave me more of a sense of purpose of accessing my own, helping people to access more knowledge, to see people cry, to see people, oh my God, how you know that? To me, that was living. And that it almost became an escape for me at the beginning of my journey, because that type of knowledge and that type of power, you can become obsessed with it.
That's a good point. Wow, I didn't think about it like that. Like you said, like it's a high because um information overload. You're like, oh man, all this stuff is coming down. I can just easily pull it from the ethers. Now I have all this information, this knowledge. But I feel like my brain gets like paralyzed once I have all this information. Going down some of the spirituality rabbit holes, like whoo, whoo, child. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Take me back up. Take me back up because it's a lot of weird stuff over there. So tell me about one of the challenging or not challenging channeling times you've had when you discovered something or seen something that you know is just like not of this 3D reality, like at all.
Well, something happened. This was on December 20th, 2021. I believe that was the first day of the Aquarius cycle. So even if I'm butchering a year, I know December 21st was the day of the age of the Aquarius cycle opening. So that day I end up taking a plant medicine journey. And the plant medicine I took was shrooms. And I end up taking at that time I was learning from a plant medicine mentor, and I was learning, he was telling me about this guy named Baba Kalindi, and he talks about macrodoses, so 5 grams more. So I end up doing his techniques where I took 5, and then that journey was 7. So I took 7 on that
Okay.
day.
Okay.
And on that day where I took 7, I had like a clear quartz crystal, and I was laying down on my bed. And when I was laying down on my bed, I just kept breathing and kept breathing. And then eventually, I was not in my body. And then eventually, I did not feel that crystal. Then eventually, I felt like space. And the message that I had got was, you are everything and nothingness. This is the original sound of blackness. Mind you, it did almost freak me out. However, in when you're taking plant medicine, they will tell you the only thing you have is your breath. So stay in tune to your breath. So I'm like staying tuned to my breath, but I'm like, I am not in my body. What the heck is this? I
Right. I
am not
can't breathe.
in
I'm
my
not in my
body.
body.
I'm in space. I don't even feel the crystal anymore. So that was like the first experience like I deeply had where I'm like, okay, so much more that we do not know logically.
That's wild. Oh my God, that's wild. Yeah, like that sounds a little bit like astral projection, right? Like coming out of your body. Yeah, I've heard that. I want to do it, but maybe I'm not called to do it yet because I feel like maybe I'd be too scared. But I know like once we fall into that deep REM sleep or whatever, we all kind of, astral project anyways. But I want to remember it. I want it to be vivid. And I have been taking some Blue Lotus, like you mentioned, on the live. So I'm just trying to, be more intentional when I go to bed at night. So you said that you can channel not only your records, but records of others, right? And so what's the process that you go through when you're checking someone's records? Like, do you like, get permission through the higher self? Like what does that look like?
I don't access people records without their permission. I think that's not spiritual integrity. So what I do is I have people could book a session with me, or if I ask them, "Do would you allow me to read your records?" and they say yes, perfect. The process after that is I ask for their name, their birthday, and I ask them questions of what they're looking to get. And then from there, I allow them to tell me their name 3 times. And when they're telling me their name, I'm tapping into the sound of their name. And then I'm going up into the Akash. And the Akash, what the Akash means is sky. So I'm literally going up into the sky with my frequency. I'm rising my vibration, and then I say a prayer. And once I say that prayer, I open the records, and then I get a floodgates of seeing things, feeling things. I even see things like as a computer, like the Matrix. And I'm able to see those things, give the person that information, and then see if it resonates, see if it don't, and kind of go from there.
So you can go and basically go to see all this information. Do family members or like, people hire like or their spirit guides or anything like that come to you when you're accessing their records in that way?
Yes, so it depends on the person. Sometimes I might see their spirit guide, sometimes I might see their lineage, sometimes I might just see their higher self, and sometimes I might just see the computer or the library where I just see that knowledge from that computer or that book. So it depends on the person, and they give it to me in the way it's going to resonate for that person.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Because I always kind of wonder if like other like family members, anybody would kind of like come up and like, hey, tell him this or make sure you tell him that. But maybe that's another type of session.
Yeah, it that does. It just depends. Like, for instance, let's say I'm accessing your records and your grandfather died. Your grandfather might be there, and I'm like, "Do you have a grandfather?" He's like, yes. Well, he wants to talk to you. This is a message that he's getting to me that he wants me to give to you. So that is something that can happen. It just depends on what that person needs at that particular time and moment in the Akashic records.
Okay. 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 That makes sense. That makes sense. They're kind of showing themselves and, just want to be recognized in that way. So what advice or how will you like advise someone to tap into their own Akashic records and maybe go into a meditation or something so they can get into their own and understand more about themselves and their history and their lineage?
What I recommend is you can go into a meditation, and you can imagine, what is it called? The Toro field. So the Toro field is what the Akashic Records is. So imagine the Toro field in your third eye and seeing yourself in that field, closing your eyes and asking your spirit guides, your master teachers, loved ones, known or unknown, to come to assist you so you can see your Akashic Records. And then once you ask that, tap into the vibration to what you feel, and they can be able to talk to you, or you'll be able to hear it. Another way that people can access their records, if they feel called to, not to say they should do this, but if they feel called to, plant medicine can open up this information as well for them too.
I might give plant medicine a try again. I did try shrooms a few times before, unceremonially, you just, with friends or whatever. But I never got the sensation that others say they receive. And then maybe I didn't take as many. I probably didn't take as many. But I don't know. My issue, I guess, with me, maybe as a Virgo or whatever, is like I'm always in my head, and one on shrooms, it showed more apparent how I'm up here and I'm trying to get down here. It's like I can just feel my head like get down there, but it won't let me get down there. I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Well,
So,
Virgos are very analytical, and I'm a Pisces, so I'm your sister sign. I'm the
hey,
opposite of you.
okay.
So Virgos are very analytical, attention to detail. They need to see the facts and the receipts, and they don't see the facts and the receipts. They like, nah, that's a little. Yeah. For Pisces, They see what they feel what they believe. So this is tapping you to the imagination because the Pisces is the energy of the subconscious, where with Virgo, they're kind of like the rulership of the logical mind. It got to make sense. They got to make sense of one and one is two, one and one is not three. Where the Pisces like, no, no, one and one is three. Virgo like, well, the math, the books from the school say one and one is two.
Right,
That's the
right.
receipts. So for Virgo, things that can open you up is plant medicine of tapping into what you feel and what you sense and not what you think.
I receive that. I receive that. I'm working on my intuition more. My intuition has been good, but so that I can work like have like the feeling kind of connect with that, I feel like that's something that I'm working on more because I'm very logical. Like if it don't make sense, then obviously I'm not there. But to feel because like I feel like I'm gifted as well to help others, help heal others, and I don't want to do it in a logical sense. I want to feel them and feel like their energy. Like I'm working on clearing people's chakras and their energy and their chakras, and so that's something that I have to tap into more when it's like to come into the what is it the sentient feeling of the spectrum.
Clairsentient, yep.
Yes, yes. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay.
I definitely appreciate that. Now, we are in the age of Aquarius, like you mentioned. In the age of Aquarius, just saw this new energy is just rising up, and we're all feeling it. We all can sense that there's something happening, and if you're wise, you will attach to it because it's going to be the betterment for our, for our human race. So, tell me, like in your opinion, maybe things that you channeled, just like the feelings that you have, like what is our future just up until like 5 to 6 years and now just looking how this change how the Aquarian age is going to come in and make like change things for us in this time.
The next 5 to 6 years, I think, is going to be very tremendous for humanity. The age of Aquarius means the age of knowing and the age of information because that's what Aquarius is. It's ahead of its time. So what we're going to be going into within the next 5 years is ahead of its time. So a person that is a representation of that, because I'm a firm believer of the as above, so below, it's Michael Jordan because he is an Aquarius. He's ahead of his time. This is why he had the brand, the Air Jordan, the shoe, the swag, the Black Jesus, all that type of energy. That's a representation of that because he's born on February 17th. And 17 is a quantum number. So he's like a double Aquarius in a way. So he's a representation of what's going to be happening within the next 5 years. Money is going to shift deeply. We're going to getting more into crypto, more into digital currency. The USD is not going to have so much of a high value as it used to be. The government system has a very big probability to change. And eventually, something's going to happen where we probably don't have presidents in America. So these are things that kind of been coming through to me, and I feel like the school system is going to be different. So I feel like it's going to be people. A lot of people say these are the chosen ones. I will go into that too, if you would like. That a lot of people are going to bring in a new structure, a new system of that's going to serve not just them for their own gain, but to serve humanity. So a lot of spiritual people, a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs, this is their time to shine because we're bringing a new ascension on this journey here on Earth deeply.
Yes, yes, I see that. I definitely resonate with that deeply. I see it in front of my eyes, honestly. It's like we can't deny the changes that we're seeing within the education system and within the political realm. Like everything is changing, but I do feel like it's for our good. Like it's all helping us transform, remove that old karma, all those change that's been holding us. Like we're finally get to ascend, right? To be with our higher dimension family, if you will, because I feel like it's the whole team effort. All hands are on deck right now, right, in the spirits realm. So yeah, like I just appreciate you so much, bro, for coming on and just sharing your wisdom. Like, you have been such a light to me and my husband as we listen to your lives. We're listening to all your information. I even support Aaron as well. I love Aaron, and congratulations on y'all new bundle of joy. So again, thank you for taking time to come and on and just share yourself with the audience. If you have anything that you'd like to leave with the audience, please do, and where they can locate you outside of here and maybe get in contact with you.
So if you guys want to find me via Instagram, you guys can go to DJ_Akash, AKA SHA11. And you guys can follow me on my page. If you guys are looking for Akashic Records reading, or you want to learn how to read the Akashic Records, this is also what I do as well. You guys can go to my website that will be in my bio on Instagram. But if you guys want to know it now, it will be AdewaleAdeoyeofficial.com. And you guys can book a session with me, or you can book a mentorship with me. And I would love to assist you guys on your journey.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, definitely get in contact with him and allow him to help you on this journey. He's very, very wealthy in knowledge. So thank you again for joining us today. And always stay elevated, hydrated, and motivated. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Soul of Media podcast. Please share the podcast with your friends, family, anyone who you think can get enlightenment from this podcast. Oh, and also join the High Vibe Tribe on Facebook and our Facebook group. And if you want to know when the next episode will be dropping, join the Soul Tribe texting group. Just text Soul Tribe at 844-751-1267. All right, y'all. Just remember, you are magnificent, here to shine your divine light. So stay hydrated, motivated, and elevated. Peace.